Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Tuesday. It's time for this day's edition of Where's Susan?
That's right. I'm in a different bunker today. I'm just keeping it interesting, moving around the station.
Nice background. Yeah. Good to see. We are following some breaking news this afternoon. Madison police shooting and wounding a man they say shot at them first. We are live on scene.
We'll take you to today's testimony, some gruesome details today and what prosecutors think Chandler Halderson did to dispose of the bodies of his parents, Bart and Krista Halderson.
And yet another single-day COVID record for Dane County. Today the focus is on getting good masks to everyone who needs one. Let's take a look outside. Oh, that wind today.
Yeah, it was cold. It was nice to see the sun, as we always say, a little bit, but these are the dog days of winter.
Yeah, it looked good until you went outside and get hit with that wind. Trading cold, though, for a little snow. Julian's in the backyard. Just a little, I think, is the key here.
Yeah, just a little, but as you guys mentioned, the wind is definitely a factor as you're going in throughout the rest of the evening. It's kind of crazy to think about as well, as we've seen a significant increase in our temperatures throughout the course of the day, about a 20-degree increase throughout much of southern Wisconsin. As of right now, it's 27 degrees. Yesterday, we were in the single digits, and those wind chills kept us below zero throughout much of our Monday. But we're going to be seeing some increases as well into those lower 30s heading into tonight, but the winds will definitely keep things quite chilly, as it's teeth chattering out here on our weather deck. But as we go in throughout, this is what we're going to be seeing. As we see, we are around normal for this time of year as of today, but those temperatures are just going to increase as we go in throughout the rest of this evening. And even areas to the southwest, as we can see, into those lower 30s, and mainly between Platteville and Janesville, holding on to 32 degrees as well. So we are seeing improvement, even though it doesn't feel like improvement, thanks to these winds coming in from the south, which have been breezy throughout the course of this day, which is why we're seeing wind chills into the upper teens and lower 20s throughout much of southern Wisconsin for us. Now, as we go ahead and move over to what we're going to be seeing for our traffic as of right now, well, we're looking pretty good along the belt lines. We're starting to load up as of right now, but over towards the interstates, we're still looking at starting to load up just a bit. There we are. We're looking at some green conditions as well in terms of our traffic, but we'll have much more because we do have some snow chances that we're going to be talking about coming up in a few moments. Till then, back to you guys.
All right, I thought we went to outer space there for a second, Julian. Thank you. What Madison police call a high-risk situation lived up to that description. It ended with police shooting and wounding a suspect.
It happened around midday, not far from the airport near Northport and Dryden Drives. Our Brad Hamilton is live there this afternoon. Brad, what did you learn?
Susan and Mark, Chief Sean Barnes says officers first came here to an apartment complex to arrest a suspect they believed was involved in several armed robberies. Now, this all escalated when that suspect decided to take off. He actually jumped from the second floor of an apartment complex, and police actually chased the suspect, and they say he started to shoot at them, and police shot back.
The suspect was struck multiple times. At the time he was transported to UW for medical evaluation, he was conscious and alert. All the officers involved per protocol are being placed on leave.
Again, Chief Barnes believes the suspect was wanted in connection to several armed robberies over the past week, including one last night. The Wisconsin Department of Justice will now take over this investigation per state law. And coming up at 5-6, we're going to hear more from the chief and a person who actually heard this all happen.
All right, Brad, we'll see you then. Thank you. A 61-year-old man has been charged with attempted homicide, among other things, after breaking into a home with a knife on New Year's Day, yelling, "You're going to die today." On January 1st, around 2 p.m., Jeffrey Welty was attempting to force a front screen door open when the owner of the home came to the front door. Welty then charged into the home yelling. The victim was able to grab the knife, and a struggle ensued. When the victim was able to knock Welty unconscious, he called 911. Welty is believed to have some mental health issues in the past and was known to the officers on the scene. Today, Welty was charged with first-degree attempted homicide, use of a dangerous weapon, and armed burglary. A former Dane County detective testifies in day 6 of the Chandler Halderson murder trial.
And it just so happened he lived across the street from the Haldersons. Eric Franke joins us now with more details about his testimony. Eric?
Susan and Mark, that's right. It just so happened Stephen Greiber, who spent more than a decade as a Dane County detective working in the DA's office, lived across the street, testified about what he smelled the day that it's alleged that Chandler Halderson burned his parents' remains. Greiber was in his driveway when he says he detected a strong burning odor. He said he thought it was just a fire pit, maybe somebody burning some firewood at first, but then after 5 minutes or so, Greiber says the smell changed a bit. In his words, quote, more in line with what he thought was someone barbecuing.
Kind of became real strong, kind of like a pungent smell, to the point that I actually walked down my driveway half the distance and kind of looked up and down the street to see if anybody was doing anything like grilling or something else was going on, and I didn't see anything at that point.
Now, jurors also saw footage from a neighboring home security camera of a flickering light from a fire in a fireplace at the Halderson home. A detective testified how they ran some tests to illustrate that the light was, in fact, coming from the Halderson fireplace. Later, a special agent from the Department of Justice's Arson Bureau said he detected a grilled meat smell from the fireplace. Agent Bill Boswell said he recovered bone fragments during an examination of that fireplace. Susan?
Eric, thank you. Record-setting COVID numbers in Dane County mean we need more tests, more vaccines, and more masks. That was the message today from community leaders. Madison's mayor, the Dane County executive, and the director of public health highlighted a focus on testing, noting that the newly reopened Alliant Energy test site will process up to 750 tests daily this week. They're also focused on getting more vaccines in arms. 15 mobile vaccine clinics, which gave out 500 doses last week, should help. And finally, an additional 100,000 face coverings are arriving this week for anyone who needs them.
Public Health Madison and Dane County is doing everything we can to adapt and help guide this community to the other side.
Each speaker pleaded with everyone to stay home if you feel sick, get tested, get vaccinated, and wear a mask. Mayor Rhodes Conway also called on Madison employers to allow their employees to take the time they need to get tested and properly quarantine.
With the help from the Evers administration and the community, Boys and Girls Club of Dane County purchased 200,000 N95 and KN95 masks for county teachers and other school staff, child care workers, as well as students and families who can't afford the masks. The Boys and Girls Club has already distributed about 2 million cloth masks over the course of the pandemic, 500,000 to Madison schools alone. This batch of 200,000 is stored at Verona Safety. They plan on giving a face mask to the 4,000 employees at Madison School District and other schools in Dane County, students who can't afford them, and to child care workers. They'll start distributing the masks tomorrow. As COVID cases and hospitalizations surge, senators on Capitol Hill had some tough words for the Biden administration's officials who are at the front lines of the U.S. battle against the coronavirus.
Michael George has the latest from New York.
With COVID hospitalizations at an all-time high in the U.S., senators pressed federal health officials on what they're doing to control the virus.
At times, it doesn't seem like anyone's in charge.
It is a very wily virus. It has fooled everybody all the time. From the time it first came in to Delta to now Omicron, very unpredictable, and we're doing the best we possibly can.
Health officials responded to criticism that COVID tests are in short supply.
We're continuing to bring tests to the American people. As a result, the president has announced, and we're in the process of procuring the 500 million tests, which every American household will be able to order and have shipped directly to their house.
Across the country, hospitals are also facing a dangerously low blood supply, prompting the American Red Cross to declare the first ever national blood crisis.
Our inventories are at the lowest that they have been in over a decade.
Red Cross Medical Director Dr. Baya Lasky says COVID is preventing many people from donating, and there are fewer blood drives for those willing to donate.
Are we at a point where doctors are having to make some difficult decisions because of the limited supply?
They are having to decide how that blood will be used and what is most immediate need, and sometimes that's a tough call.
And in Chicago, a 14-year-old has joined the battle against COVID. Eli Kustin built a computer program to search online for home tests, helping visitors to his website find available tests and have them shipped directly to their home. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
This morning, the Office of Children's Mental Health Director Linda Hall gave an update on the status of children's mental health in Wisconsin. The report listed a couple of concerning trends. Students are spending more time on electronic devices, and that is especially concerning because this was taken before the pandemic. Another area of concern is that more students are having difficulty with social skills.
This isn't just about kids being able to chat after school or be the most popular person at a party. These social skills are critical for developing trusting relationships that are key to learning and belonging.
There was some good news, and that is Wisconsin is one of the best states in the nation for graduation rates, coming in at 4% above average. There are also more psychiatrists, social workers, and counselors in Wisconsin than the last report. A former Waukesha school teacher and an Illinois woman are missing tonight in the waters off the country of Panama after a plane crash a week ago. Josh Velleman from Waukesha says his parents, Deb and Anthony Velleman, split their time between Panama and Waukesha. On January 3rd, they boarded a private plane with several others and left Contadora Island off the coast of mainland Panama. They were headed to a city just south of Panama City. The plane crashed in the water shortly after takeoff. Anthony was rescued several hours later using a styrofoam cooler as a flotation device, but his mother and another woman from Illinois are still missing after a week of search and rescue efforts.
Extremely painful, and it's frustrating because we have all the help locally here, but there's language barriers. It's obviously a difficult time.
Josh says his family, as well as the family of the other missing woman and the Panamanian government, have called on U.S. officials for help, but they say that ask has been declined by the U.S. Embassy in Panama. Josh is in Panama with his brother. He says they plan to stay there as their father gets medical treatment and hope the search for their mother continues.
Arguably one of Wisconsin's biggest cheerleaders has some unfinished business to accomplish. We chatted with Tommy Thompson this morning. Thompson announced last week that he is stepping down as interim UW system president in March. The former governor took on that role in the summer of 2020 after the Board of Regents failed to find a replacement for Ray Cross. Thompson told us he's developing a strong relationship with the legislature despite some disagreements over pandemic issues.
That we're the economic engine and can be and will be if the legislature will play ball with us and work with us. And I think they are. I think we've had a much better atmosphere and attitude from the legislature towards the university now since I've been here.
Thompson says he fully expects the Board of Regents to find his replacement within 2 months. So what advice does he have for whoever that is? We'll hear more about that at 6 o'clock. And tomorrow, as Naomi Coles goes in-depth, one-on-one with Tommy Thompson. Well, still to come at 4, how are your New Year's resolutions coming along? If you're like most, probably not so good. We'll get some advice on staying consistent for a healthier life. Psychologist Shyla Mergain has that and a special announcement for us when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
As you remodel, don't toss your cabinets and appliances. Donate to Habitat Restore. Give your items a second life while proceeds build Habitat for Humanity homes. Donate today. Habitat Restore, Dane County.
To be a thriver with metastatic breast cancer means asking for what we want and need, and we need more time. So we want Kisqali. Women are living longer than ever before with Kisqali when taken with an aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant in postmenopausal women with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali is a pill that's significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus an aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Ask your doctor about living longer with Kisqali.
Hello, I'm Gary Canoldi, inviting News 3 Now viewers to join me on an Alaska and Glacier Bay cruise August 9th through the 21st. We'll discover the cities of Anchorage and Fairbanks and enjoy a guided tour in Denali National Park. We'll also relax on a wonderful 4-night Holiday America Line cruise, including Glacier Bay National Park. Visit holidayvacations.com, keyword WISC, to learn more about this tour and to watch a travel show. Or call 888-557-1020 for a free brochure.
Deep in credit card debt? Did you know Credit Associates can help you reduce that debt? It's not nearly as complicated as you think. Let me show you what I mean. First, there's the total amount of credit card debt you owe. Whoa! We can reduce that by almost half. Second, how about those decades you'll be in debt? We reduced that down to as little as 24 to 36 months, giving you up to 20 debt-free years back. Lastly, how about the endless hours of stress and anxiety from being in debt? We can help reduce that too. It's easy to get started. Call now to see how Credit Associates can reduce your debt and save you thousands. The information is free and there's no risk to call. 1-800-949-3849. Call Credit Associates now to start living better, debt-free. 1-800-949-3849.
Welcome back. Oceans set a new record for hottest temperatures for the third year in a row.
That's according to an annual study published today in the journal Advances in Atmospheric Sciences. The past 5 years have been the warmest since record-keeping began in the 1950s. Scientists say ocean temperatures aren't typically impacted much by natural variables like El Nino or La Nina. Last year's record heat was despite La Nina, which causes cooler than average temperatures. Researchers blame human activity for rising water temperatures because oceans absorb heat from the atmosphere. Warmer oceans can create more powerful storms and increased rainfall.
Journalists arriving early for the start of the Winter Olympics in Beijing have been among the first to have their food served up to them remotely. While noodles are a fairly conventional dish in China, noodles from the ceiling are not, and that is the way lunch is dished up in the canteen in the main press area. Even burgers are being prepared electronically. Beijing has more strict COVID restrictions than Japan. However, unlike Tokyo, domestic spectators will be allowed to attend events. The Winter Olympics begin on February 4th.
It's raining food there.
Yeah.
United Airlines is reducing its flight schedule as it deals with COVID-related staffing shortages. Across the U.S., thousands of flights have been canceled in recent weeks because of a spike in cases due to the Omicron variant. It's unclear what the new reduced schedule will look like. In a company-wide memo, United CEO Scott Kirby said nearly 3,000 employees currently have coronavirus, but he touted the company's vaccine mandate for keeping people out of the hospital. Kirby said for the past 8 weeks, there have been no COVID-related deaths among vaccinated employees.
Bank of America is slashing the amount of money it charges customers when they spend more than they have in their accounts, and plans to eliminate entirely its fees for bounced checks. It is the latest move by the nation's biggest banks to roll back the fees that they have long charged customers who overdraft their accounts, fees that often rack up to hundreds of dollars a year for frequent overdraft users. The Charlotte-based bank will cut the overdraft fee from $35 to $10 starting in May, and it will also stop charging fees for non-sufficient funds.
Stocks rebounded on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials added 185 points, closing at 36,252. The Nasdaq gained 210, and the S&P 500 was up 42. Well, a recent survey found most people have good intentions but fail to keep their New Year's resolutions.
Oh, it's hard, isn't it? The average person who responded in the poll said they stuck to it for 36 days, which is a little bit more than a month. That's longer than me and most.
Absolutely combined.
Yeah.
Many people want to improve their wellness, but it feels it's next to impossible to stay consistent. UW Health's distinguished psychologist, Dr. Shyla Mergain, joins us with how to make your goals stick. Good to see you, Shyla. Happy New Year.
Shyla.
Happy New Year, Mark and Susan. Thanks for having me.
So what are the main reasons why people fail with their New Year's goals?
Well, we can be overly ambitious at the start of the new year. We can set huge goals that are unrealistic. For some people, they don't have the support structure in place, or they just don't have that system to really make that commitment to what they're working towards. So it's so important, I think, this time of year, especially in the midst of this pandemic with the new variant, where many people are feeling a sense of discontent and a disconnect from their lives, to use this as a time to set some goals, to really chart our course in 2022.
And maybe be a little more realistic, more reasonable goals. But I've often wondered what you think. Are you a proponent of a vision board or a vision statement? A lot of people I know have done that, and it seems to help them stick to whatever their goal is.
Funny you should ask that, Susan. I actually, over the weekend, created my vision board for the new year, and I think that can really be a nice anchor to direct us during this upcoming year. And I think when we're creating that kind of vision statement, first reflect on the past year. Think about what you want to bring into 2022 and what you want to leave behind. And in particular, reflect on what brings you a sense of joy and fulfillment and makes you a healthier you. You can write it out, picturing yourself a year from now, a day in the life, a year from now, what you'd be doing, who'd be around, what you'd be surrounded with, what you'd experience in your body, your health, or your emotions, or your spirit. Or you could even pick a word that captures that essence. Or in my case, I actually did some photographs and phrases that I put on post board that I can see regularly.
And for you personally, 2022 is going to be a very special year.
It is. I am very excited to announce that I'm having a baby. I've been working towards this for over 3 years. And I think it's really a sense of hope for parents that are, would-be parents that are struggling with fertility. I had 13 medical procedures and 5 attempts, and a year ago I was pregnant and lost that baby. So I'm happy to report I'm 34 weeks along. So the due date's just around the corner in February. And for me, my intention is to be the best parent I can be. And I think, you know, there's a sense of hope that if we keep working towards these goals, if we don't give up, we have visual reminders of what we're going for. I recently was gifted my vision statement, which is around being steady and peace with joy and love, little bracelet that I can wear in those trying moments of new motherhood to remind me. And my hope is that, you know, parents out there or people who are struggling to become parents, that they keep at that goal and knowing many things are possible. There are a lot of fertility treatments out there for people. We just sometimes don't know what's available.
Dreams do come true. Shyla, we are so happy for you. So
news.
Honored that you shared the announcement with us. You look beautiful. That picture is just beautiful. Do you know what you're having?
I don't. It's going to be a big surprise. So we'll find out in February what this little one is.
So just 4 weeks away. Are we going to see you before this?
Hopefully, life willing, I'll be back next month.
Okay. Well,
it's so
congratulations.
inspiring.
That is exciting news.
We're so excited. I can't wait for you. And you definitely have that glowing thing going on.
It's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year after all, Shyla. Thank you.
Thank you, Shyla. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, still to come tonight on Live at 4. Boy, how do you top that? A 57-year-old Maryland man is alive after receiving a transplanted pig's heart. We'll find out how this is possible and how he's doing coming up after Julian's First Warn forecast.
Entresto is the #1 heart failure brand prescribed by cardiologists and has helped over 1 million people. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto.
What if Sun-Maid raisins were just the beginning? A naturally sweet start to a world of imaginative snacks, like fruity raisin snacks that taste like sweet or sour candy, and creamy vanilla chocolate strawberry peanut butter yogurt-covered raisins. All from Sun-Maid, and all made with whole fruit, because goodness really is delicious with Sun-Maid snacks. Imagine that!
Fixed.
No charge.
Ah, that's my son. He always takes care of his mama.
Ooh, what's up with Granny's casserole?
It's for after your Uncle Joe's funeral. My brother didn't have a life insurance policy.
I hear there's a collection to help Aunt Adele.
Yeah, a funeral costs north of $9,000 these days. That's a hefty bill for family to pay if there's no life insurance check to help.
Wow. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Which reminds me, I've been meaning to tell you, I got that $9.95 plan from Colonial Penn. I'm on a fixed income, so price is important.
The life insurance on TV.
Just $9.95 a month to help you pay my funeral expenses. What about your family, son? You've got a wife and kids, and a grandson living with you now, too.
Maybe I should get the $9.95 plan, too. Thing is, this has been a rough year for my business, Ma. Money's tight. Still, for $9.95 a month, I don't have a good excuse, do I?
I'm Jonathan for Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company. If you're age 50 to 85, just $9.95 a month buys whole life insurance with guaranteed acceptance. You cannot be turned down for any health reason. There are no health questions. Guaranteed lifetime coverage. Your insurance can never be canceled. Just pay your premiums. Guaranteed lifetime rate lock. Your rate can never increase. It's locked in as soon as you're covered and stays the same for the rest of your life. With guarantees like these, it's no surprise the $9.95 plan is Colonial Penn's #1 most popular whole life insurance.
Now don't forget, wear your good suit tonight. And please call about the $9.95 plan today while it's on your mind, okay?
Call now for free information.
Call 1-800-505-7613 for free information and your free beneficiary planner. No obligation. 1-800-505-7613. That's 1-800-505-7613. Call now.
Well, take a look at this. The first time seeing snow can be a magical moment or a painful lesson. This man and his family vacationed in Connecticut and experiencing snow for the first time ever. He decided to try sledding, immediately regretting his decision. He bounces over rocks while going backwards before crashing into the brush. Luckily, he wasn't injured and hopefully learned something.
That could be our producer, Matt. He's from California, and we're having fun teasing him this winter.
First of all, that's not enough snow to sled on.
Right.
No, not at all. Oh, my God.
I think he learned a lesson. And a little snow coming our way.
That is
Julian's
right.
here.
Yeah, we have a little snow coming our way. That's actually what we're going to be previewing and getting to talk about after such a warm-up, even though it's still cold outside. So make sure you stay tuned for the full forecast coming up right after this.
Get organized with a Designer's Image wooden closet system at Menards. They are great for hanging clothes and storing accessories. Save big money on Designer's Image wooden closet systems. Whether you need a spot for extra storage or want to add an accent to your living space, Dakota has the shelf for you. Keep your home neat and tidy and save big money on Dakota shelving right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Do you suffer from chronic or severe back or neck pain? Did you know that there's now a treatment method available right here at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center that offers hope of avoiding spinal surgery for those suffering with bulging, herniated, or degenerative discs? Our therapies help reduce pain related to these conditions and have a high success rate in helping people just like you avoid back or neck surgery.
I've experienced low back pain for over 15 years. I had back surgery when I was 26 and had difficulties recovering. The doctors at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center have given me a new lease on life. I am now able to enjoy an active, pain-free lifestyle.
Call Midwest Spine and Nerve Center now to schedule a no-obligation consultation to see if our progressive pain-relieving therapies are right for you.
On my travels across the country, I came across this house with water dripping from the ceiling. You never know when something like this will happen. So let the Geico Insurance Agency help you with homeowners insurance and protect yourself from things like fire, theft, or in this case, water damage. Now, if I had to guess, I'd say somewhere upstairs there's a broken pipe.
Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance at geico.com.
about 40% off lenses with purchase of a frame. Wisconsin Vision. See more life.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Welcome back, and hopefully you were able to enjoy a little bit warmer temperatures here in southern Wisconsin for us. As we look at our current conditions right now, it's 27 degrees here in Madison, even though we are still looking at winds to be on the lighter breezy side for us from the south-southwest at 9 miles per hour. It is still feeling pretty chilly outside, but temperatures in southern Wisconsin in themselves, as I mentioned, have improved significantly over the last 24 hours. Into the southwest for our friends over in Platteville, especially 31 degrees as of right now, with 32 in Janesville. But again, look at these temperature changes over the last 24 hours. It is significant increases into 20 degrees or even more than it was just yesterday. However, with these winds, some areas into the breezier side, especially for Watertown and Janesville, into those middle teens, we are still looking at chilly conditions as we're heading into the rest of our evening. So just know you did not over bundle up today, because it is still on the chillier side as we go on throughout the rest of this evening. But the one thing is that they will improve just ever so slightly as we continue throughout the rest of this evening. Going into the later part of tonight, our wind chills will improve, especially here in Madison, into the upper teens and even to the lower 20s as temperatures continue to rise going into tonight. And that's what we're going to see, lower 30s for us as we head into tonight, with some cloud cover still continuing to develop, making for some mostly cloudy conditions for us later in. As we see, our low will be around 26 degrees. We could potentially even see a flurry later on, but that's what we're going to look at as of right now. Here's our surface map, but this low into the very northern areas of the U.S., just about near Canada, is going to try to dip its way in and settle near the upper Midwest, which will be bringing in some snow chances for us. So this is what we're going to be timing out. The 5 p.m. commute, not looking at much issues here. Lots of clear skies still, and then we're going to see the development of cloud cover heading in later tonight. And as we go into our Wednesday morning, areas near Janesville could be seeing a bit of some light snow, but that's going to be clearing out very quickly. Then as we go into our Wednesday afternoon, around the lunchtime hour, temperatures into those lower 30s we can see across southern Wisconsin, but cloud cover is going to dominate our skies. Then as we transition into our overnight hours into our Thursday morning, that's where we're looking for some more snow to start to roll in. We're looking at organized light snow events to start to roll into southern Wisconsin, but it will get its way out of here heading into lunchtime for Thursday. So we're going to be looking at some trace amounts, or even close to about an inch. Some areas could even see about 2 inches of snow once this event is done going into our Thursday. But for our snow meter, just make sure that you are staying prepared, because we're looking at a 70% chance of us to be seeing some snowfall rolling into our Thursday. And outside of that, heading into the weekend, we're also looking for another chance of seeing some more light snow rolling in, but it's still trying to track its way into the southwest to our friends in Iowa and even more further. So as we take a look, we are looking for this weekend to still give us a bit of trace amounts and even some flurries as we head into the weekend for some chances of some snowfall. But other than that, temperatures as well are going to be dropping back into the teens. As we look at our 10-day, really, Wednesday and Thursday are going to be best for us, because as we head into next week, we're going to be back to more seasonable into those lower and middle 20s for us, but definitely take full advantage of any of the snow that we're going to be seeing. Over to you, Mark.
It is winter.
It is definitely winter, guys.
Thank you. Well, medical first in the operating room as surgeons from the University of Maryland Medical Center transplanted a genetically modified pig heart into a 57-year-old man.
His advanced heart disease made him ineligible for a human organ. Dr. Tara Narula has more on how the experimental surgery was done.
He simply didn't want to die, doesn't want to die.
Patient David Bennett, a Maryland handyman and father, is awake and recovering days after a 7-hour surgery to replace his heart with that of a genetically modified pig.
This pig heart has performed so far very well, even beyond our expectations.
When Bennett arrived at the University of Maryland Medical Center, he was dying and ineligible for a human transplant because of the severity of his heart disease and medical history.
My dad's prognosis early on was very, very, very bad.
His son said Bennett agreed to the experimental procedure despite a slim chance of success.
This was his best hope of getting out of the hospital and having somewhat of a normal quality of life.
He said, I don't want to die. And he said, if I do, maybe you'll learn something to help others.
Although it's too soon to know the long-term success of the surgery, doctors say it can offer hope to similar patients.
There are hundreds and thousands of people all around the world who are waiting for the organ, and unfortunately, just like this patient, may not qualify for an organ transplant.
There have been prior attempts to transplant an animal organ into a human, including baby Faye in 1984, who lived with a baboon heart for 3 weeks. But those have failed because the body rejects the organ rapidly. This time, the pig that supplied the heart went through gene editing to remove cells thought to be responsible for rejection.
We're learning a lot every day with this gentleman, and so far, we're happy with our decision to move forward. And he is as well. A big smile on his face today.
Dr. Tara Narula, CBS News, New York.
It's quite remarkable.
Fascinating medicine.
I mean, who came up with this idea in the first place?
Right, right.
Good luck to him. I hope it all works out. Well, coming up next on Live at 4, Consumer Reports is helping us out with our winter lockdown. Stay tuned for what to do if you're quarantined. And then coming up at 5, more details from day 6 of the Chandler Halderson trial. That's coming up at 5.
These are the faces that smile so wide at the friends and staff who are by their side, where life is lived with a feeling of pride on every bump of life's great ride that comes from the care that sweetens the air that lives in the house that angels built. Attic Angel Community, independent homes and 4 levels of assisted living built with the help of angels.
What is all this?
We call them options.
Options? Don't make me laugh.
Unbeatable selection without the drama. 2 pair plus a free eye exam as low as $59.95.
With Farmers Auto multi-policy discount, the more policies you have with us, the more you could save on your auto insurance.
Hey, hon.
Hi, honey.
Like what?
Well, you'd get a discount for insuring your jet skis and boat, RV, life, home, and more. You could save up to 45%.
That's a whole lot of discounts.
Well, we offer coverage for a whole lot of things, and you could save a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks.
What's up, Dad?
17-car garage you got there?
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means being relentless because every day matters. And having more of them is possible with Verzenio, the only one of its kind proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant, regardless of menopause status.
Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
Every day matters, and I want more of them.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
News 3 Now and St. Vincent de Paul are collecting new and gently used blankets for our neighbors in need. You can drop them off at any Dane County St. Vincent de Paul store or participating area churches the last weekend in January. Thank you for your generosity.
Tonight at 5, continuing coverage of an officer-involved shooting on the east side. We'll have a live report on location with the very latest.
Temperatures will be warmer than normal for the next 2 days, but there will be a trade-off. We could see some light snow or flurries. Colder weather returns on Friday into the weekend. My first warn forecast at 5.
And ahead at 6, why testimony today centered around the family fireplace in day 6 of the Halderson homicide trial. That's coming up at 6.
Live look at downtown Madison on this Tuesday afternoon.
The days are getting longer.
They are. It used to be dark at this time. Baby steps. With an increase in flu cases, surging COVID Delta infections, and the rise of the Omicron variant, health officials are bracing for a rough winter.
If you find yourself at home under the weather, Consumer Reports has some great options to help you pass the time while you get better. Here's Arlia Linscheid.
stuffy nose, cough, headaches, fever. Let's face it, being sick stinks. But Consumer Reports says there are some ways to make your at-home recovery a little easier and more fun. And it starts with binge watching those TV shows everyone was talking about, but you missed.
With more streaming services than ever, a dedicated streaming player is often the best way to access them, even if you already own a smart TV. They may have features or services that your TV lacks.
The Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K Max is a good value at $35, and it did well in CR's tests. And just because you can't be with your friends in person doesn't mean you can't still hang out. With a gaming console or computer, you can play with friends online, but you'll need a good headset to talk with them while you're playing.
Look for a headset that is both comfortable and has great sound quality, including the microphone. You also want to decide if you want it to be wired, which is often cheaper, or wireless, which gives you more freedom but can be pricier.
For a wired model, the Turtle Beach Recon 50 is an affordable choice at $25, and it got perfect scores for design, sound, and comfort in CR's user study. For $149, the wireless SteelSeries Arctis 7 scored just as well. And even though you might not be in the mood to cook, you'll still need some nourishment. Consumer Reports evaluated consumers' experiences with 4 major food delivery services and found that among this group, Postmates deliveries were the promptest. So with some good food, entertainment, and friends, getting better just got a little more comfortable. For News 3 Now, this is Leah Lynchide. Stay healthy.
Thank you, Leo. Well, speaking of not feeling well, when should you be tested for COVID, and what kind of test should you get? The confusion, unfortunately, continues. When we come back, UW Health's Dr. Jeff Potoff will help us get answers to these questions when Live at 4 continues.
Stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes to an hour. I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of PowerSwabs. When I met Dr. Ginniker and he introduced me to PowerSwabs and I saw how effective they were and how easy they were to use, I knew we had to share it with the world. PowerSwabs was clinically studied to whiten natural teeth as well as stained caps, crowns, and veneers. It's so effective, it works on stains caused by coffee, tea, red wine, and even smoking. For those of you who have that one stained tooth that's darker than the rest, PowerSwabs can target that area using swab precision.
I really love the fact that you're able to go individually on each tooth and make sure that it's going to be wider.
So this New Year's, if you have yellowing between your teeth or coffee stains near your gum line, just snap, swab, and smile. And each 5-minute application, you'll see whiter teeth. So stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes or an hour, and start using the PowerSwabs 5-minute solution. Just snap, swab, and smile.
After just 7 days, the results were awesome. PowerSwabs was easy to use every day, and each day I could see it better and better, and from beginning to end, it's definitely whiter. They look clean, they feel clean, and people have made comments about it, which is nice.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. This new year, order PowerSwabs and receive up to 40% off the retail price. Get a free PowerSwabs Quick Stick pen with your order. The Quick Stick pen is your on-the-go solution to help prevent stains from adhering to your teeth after drinking coffee, tea, or even after smoking. And in addition to saving up to 40% on your purchase and your free Quick Stick pen, get free shipping by ordering now. Dial the number on your screen or visit powerswabs.com today.
To be a thriver with metastatic breast cancer means asking for what we want and need, and we need more time. So we want Kisqali. Women are living longer than ever before with Kisqali when taken with an aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant in postmenopausal women with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali is a pill that's significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus an aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Ask your doctor about living longer with Kisqali.
Let's talk about traffic. As we go into our evening commutes, just know along the Beltline, well, for once, it's actually pretty green as we're going in around this time. However, if you're going to be traveling on Fish Hatchery Road, some slow spots are popping up for us on our traffic. But let's go ahead and take a quick look over into the interstate as of right now, which is also looking all green to start off for the rest of our evening. So just know that if you're going to be traveling, well, now is probably the best time to do it because it will be as smooth as butter as we're going in throughout the rest of this evening, at least for right now, because of course the traffic will start to pick back up once everyone starts to hit the roads in about the next 30 minutes. However, from Janesville to the Beltline, 25 minutes is what your commute's going to be looking like, and from Sauk City to Middleton, about 16 minutes, and Sun Prairie to downtown, looking at 18 minutes as well. So once again, not too bad. Definitely right now is the best time for you to hit the roads in order for you to get to where you need to go. But well, that's going to do it for traffic. Let's go ahead and toss it back to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. We wanted you to meet Ameca. It's a humanoid robot that can make engaging human facial gestures by using groundbreaking advancements in artificial intelligence and motor movement. Developed by UK's Engineering Arts, Ameca was 4 years in the making and made a big splash at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. The goal was to make a robot that was as human as possible. The robot has no fewer than 17 motors in its head alone, and it uses both AI and a human operator who remotely controls Ameca's speech and facial expressions.
Meet your new co-anchor there, Mark.
But there's a human behind it. That's incredible. It is incredible. Well, there are now a record number of Americans hospitalized with COVID, more than 142,000 as of Sunday. That's according to new government data.
Amid this ongoing record surge in cases, there are still a lot of questions and a lot of confusion out there about testing.
UW Health Chief Quality Officer Dr. Jeff Potoff is here, as he is every Tuesday, to help answer some key questions. Welcome back, Doctor.
Hi, Dr. Potoff. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see both of you.
All right, so let's talk about testing. When should you do it? Is rapid good? I mean, let's start at the beginning. Let's say you have no symptoms and you had an encounter with someone who is positive.
Yeah, so if you had no symptoms and you had a close encounter with someone who's positive, so you're worried you're going to convert and get COVID-19, the best way to know if that happened or not is to wait anywhere from 3 to 4 days. You don't want to get it right away. It'll be too soon. And because you have no symptoms at all, the best test to determine that would be a PCR test. It's likely that a rapid antigen test in that scenario would be negative, whereby the PCR, if you're starting to replicate virus, would likely be positive.
Okay, so that's good to know. You have to wait a couple of days before you get tested. It's too soon if you do it right away. How reliable are the rapid tests? And what happens, for example, if you get a rapid test that is negative and then a PCR test that is positive, or the other way around, or vice versa?
Right. So I think an important kind of rule of thumb for the rapid test is the rapid test is more reliable the more virus you have in your nasal pharynx, your nose, or your mouth. So what that means is that if you wake up tomorrow morning and you suddenly have a bit of a scratchy throat and you're wondering, boy, do I have COVID? Your viral loads may not be high enough yet to make that rapid test positive, whereby they might make a PCR test positive. Now, if you've had symptoms for 24 hours, maybe more than that, 36 hours, and you're like, you know what, maybe this is COVID, and then you do a rapid test, that rapid test is more likely to give you an accurate result at that point. If you have those symptoms, likely positive. So that's why we recommend if you have symptoms and that rapid test is negative, if you can find them, getting a PCR test is a better way to know if you're truly positive or not, because you may not have enough viral material to make that rapid positive.
Well, we've had some folks here take the PCR test and they've waited 4, 5, 6 days for results. There's so many tests out there. By then, you may not be contagious anymore.
Right, and I think that's important for folks who are having a difficult time getting a test. Right now, just about everyone that we're testing for symptoms of COVID have COVID. So if you have those symptoms, you can almost assume that you have the disease. You can start your isolation. And if you're completely asymptomatic on day 5, which is getting close to when some of these test results are coming back, you can try to find a rapid at that point to kind of confirm, am I still positive or not? Or you can put that mask on, tight-fitting mask, and as long as you can wear that the entire time that you're in public, i.e. no taking it off for food, no taking it off for drinks when you're around people, you could go that route rather than trying to find a test and wait for the result.
Are you still recommending that people who are feeling cold symptoms get tested? I think I just heard you say that everybody who thinks they have a cold is testing positive right now.
You know, I think in a perfect world, if we had easy availability of tests, that's the best scenario because it gives us great data on what's the real prevalence of the disease in our community, and that helps us make decisions. But being practical and realizing that not very many people want to wait for hours to get a test done, if you can't find a test readily available, I think it's okay to isolate. And for the most part, you can get tested within, 2 to 3 days. That could still be helpful. I think that's probably the way to go right now.
And the Alliant Energy Center has lots of openings now that they've increased production out there. Let's talk about masks, cloth out.
Yeah, I think cloth masks at this point, they're falling on less favorable opinions just because it's really hard to know how well that cloth mask is going to filter. Is it going to be tight fitting? And with Omicron so contagious, and surgical masks and N95s, KN95s being available, I think it's the better part of Valor to just go ahead and use those masks that we understand their performance better while we have this really contagious variant out there.
How long can you test positive for COVID-19?
So if we talk about PCR tests, it is not uncommon at all to test positive up to 90 days after your infection, just because those PCR tests are so good at finding just even one strand of that genetic material. For those rapid tests, anywhere from 10 to maybe 12 days out, you could still test positive. But there's plenty of people who won't test positive 5, 6, 7 days out on a rapid.
And no end in sight to this variant?
Yeah, where do you think we are right now?
Actually, Mark, I think we might be doing okay. So in South Africa, cases went up, came down pretty quick. We're starting to see that similar trend in the United Kingdom, a little bit in New York. So, fingers crossed, maybe this goes through pretty quick and life starts to look a little bit more like normal before the end of winter.
Yeah, by the time it spiked and then fell in South Africa, it was only about 5 weeks. So that's very encouraging to see.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, if you're not feeling well, stay home.
Absolutely.
All right, Doctor. Good to see you again. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Dr. Potoff. Always appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Well, the final check of your forecast coming up.
This year, there are more tax credits at stake than ever before. Thousands more. The tax pros at Jackson Hewitt will help track down every last dollar. Jackson Hewitt is here to make sure you don't miss a single deduction, so you can get your biggest refund guaranteed.
Is your credit score getting in the way of the things you want to do? Personal loans through NetCredit offer fast and flexible lending. Borrow up to $10,000 and choose repayment terms that work for you. You may even be able to build your credit history as you repay. NetCredit, a more personal loan.
At iMart Express, it's just the right price. 2 pairs of glasses start under $40. Using insurance? We accept over 1,000 plans, and using your benefits is as easy as 1, 2, 3. No insurance? No problem. Glasses to fit your budget. It's just the right price. Only at iMart Express.
These are the faces that smile so wide at the friends and staff who are by their side, where life is lived with a feeling of pride on every bump of life's great ride that comes from the care that sweetens the air that lives in the house that angels built. Attic Angel Community. Independent homes and 4 levels of assisted living built with the help of angels.
Welcome to the lifestyles of the smart and savvy. Today, the Coopers are a cost-conscious couple. But back in the day, not so much. Now, saving is more their style, which is why they chose Consumer Cellular. They get the same premium coverage as the nation's leading carriers for half the cost. Imagine talk, text, and data starting at $20 a month. And award-winning customer service. Switch to Consumer Cellular today and start saving.
Tonight at 5, continuing coverage of an officer-involved shooting on the east side. We'll have a live report on location tonight at 5. And why testimony today centered around the family fireplace. It's day 6 of the Halderson homicide trial, coming up at 5.
The launch of 5G cell service is causing major turbulence between airlines and wireless carriers, with customers caught in the middle. Eric Bronke gets to the bottom of the fight and how it could impact your next plane trip. Thursday on News 3 Now at 6.
Well, for tonight, we're going to be seeing clouds roll back in and potentially could see a little bit of a flurry later on as well. But temperatures will be about 26 degrees. But the real takeaway, folks, is that snow is back in the forecast. But just how much? Well, Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti will let you know exactly what coming up at 5.
The Lynx device stops reflux by using magnets to strengthen the muscle at the end of the esophagus, and this prevents acid from flowing from the stomach back into the esophagus.
Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Habitat homes are built and bought by the hardworking families that live in them. Through affordable mortgages backed by your donations, Habitat Dane County offers a chance for these families to invest in their future and their community. Please donate or volunteer today.
Dirt bike racing action returns. The Arena Cross Nationals. Epic action races into the Alliant Energy Center January 28th and 29th for 2 nights of heart-pumping, throttle-roaring, action-packed two-wheel racing. Get tickets now at the Alliant Energy Center box office or online at arenacrossnationals.com. Two-wheel action on dirt Friday and Saturday, January 28th and 29th. The must-see action of 2022. Let's go racing.
Clog their defenses.
Sir, yes, sir.
Combat leaves debris and damage to your home and property all year round with a solution you can get and forget. LeafGuard is the only gutter system guaranteed never to clog, whatever the weather. Call 1-833-LeafGuard today for a free in-home estimate and get a $50 gift card. Defend your gutters from clogs forever with LeafGuard. Call 1-833-LeafGuard today.
What are you recommending for muscle pain?
Based on clinical data, I recommend Salonpas.
Agreed. My patients like these patches because they work up to 12 hours, even on moderate pain.
Salonpas, it's good medicine.
About 40% off lenses with purchase of a frame. Wisconsin Vision. See more life.
Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Schwab, General Surgeon at Stoughton Health. If you suffer from reflux, please join us for our upcoming seminar on the Lynx device, a new and innovative treatment to stop reflux.
Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
In today's Final Touch, they are the rarest of the rare.
They are the most luxurious, fastest, and expensive vehicles in the world, and they're all on display at Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles. Hypercars, the allure of the extreme, highlights global automotive excellence where money is absolutely no object. Among the notable cars is the $1.1 million Bugatti. It goes 253 miles an hour. Then there's the Koenigsegg Agera RS Rheinl Edition, known as Thor. It's set 5 speed records. Exterior is covered with diamond flake paint. The $1.6 million Devil 16 is designed to resemble a fighter plane. The list goes on and on. Cars we'll never see around here.
I could see you zipping down the Beltline in one of those.